Another note.
He knows what it is.
Do you?
Yes.
I sincerely hope you enjoy your jewelry box. This is a long note. I would like to share with you what happened after Carrie presented this to me. The plastic bag contained the box in pieces, and I thought it just needed to be put back together. I remember Carrie telling me, "You will have fun playing with it and putting it back together." Well, it was a challenge, and that is why it took some time for me to get this back together. It laid there on the bench. It's a very long, messy bench and lots of space for over a year. So recently it came to me, as I kept moving it around on the bench, that this box perhaps meant a lot to Carrie. So I decided to make an effort to finish it. I also think he would very much enjoy having you take ownership of this case once it's done. As I began to lay out the case, I needed to focus on one part at a time. Once this was done, it all began to fall into place. I had to make some new parts, and I made them out of maple and black walnut just as the original. So here is what it was done to the case. The front and back pieces were cracked, and I had to repair them. The one end was missing, and I just made another piece out of some regular maple I had. Black walnut pieces on the end of the top are new. Black walnut pieces on the ends of the sides were new. The bottom of the case was also cracked and needed repair. I sanded the pieces down before assembling the case back together. I collected the sawdust and mixed that with my glue to make filler, which would work well for fixing those pieces that were cracked. The hinges were cleaned up and repainted. The inside of all of the pieces had glue that helped hold the green lining that was originally inside. I had to do this so the new lining could be applied. Once the case pieces were finished, I started the assembly. There's trimming here there, so it all would work in the end. A final sanding of the case and the top was placed on it. I decided to wash the case with soap and water before finishing. 3 coats of clear gloss poly were then applied. A finishing wax was then applied on it as well. The inside was completed with green felt as it was originally. I was able to determine that this case is over 100 years old. The wood that was used here was from an old maple tree. Years ago, they would make cases like this from the large roots of trees as well. This is why the case has a most interesting look to it. I would estimate the case is about 80% original now. As a final note, I must say that this was perhaps the oldest as well as the smallest piece I've ever worked in. Hope you enjoy it.
That's very lovely.
It was Dick.
Yeah, Dick Foos.
Let me see it.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, we got a box we can send.
Yeah.
Look at the hinges in
Oh,
it.
this is beautiful.
All those hinges.
The whole thing. Oh, that's precious. So, who did this belong to then?
His mother.
Oh, that's beautiful. Did you know about this? Kid?
No, when I saw Dick after the funeral, he's like, I have something. He's like, Carrie gave it to me. It's not meant for me. So he's like, I'm gonna send it to you. You guys all need to have a couple drinks. And then you need to open it. And I need to do a couple things with it first, but then I'll send it to you. And I'm like, okay. And I had no. And then Paul came in the mail, and Paul's like, start opening it. And I'm like, don't open it. We're not supposed to open it.
Do we have a couple drinks?
So, well, and you guys had to be here.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then the letter, I think, came the next day with the instructions.
It's just beautiful. Orville, come and look at this. You have to bring in my rosary box. He's got one that's quite old. So is Dick, what, your middle brother? Or?
Cousin.
No, cousin. Yeah, he would
He's
be.
the one that helped him move here.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah. He would be my father's youngest
George.
brother's son.
Oh,
Okay.
over 100 years old.
He redid our
100
house
years
for
old?
us
Oh,
before we
it's
put it on the
beautiful.
market.
I know, I heard
Yeah.
all your stories.
Do you have that much jewelry?
Oh, he could put his money in there.
Yeah.
They put their They put their ring in there.
Isn't that
Wait, so who did it belong
Oh,
to
it's
originally,
beautiful.
Marianne?
The original was your
You
mother,
should have
right?
seen-
Or was it your grandmother's?
Oh, what's that?
You should have seen the original. It was a bunch of pieces just in a paper bag.
Yeah.
And this guy
Both what?
put together the whole thing.
Okay.
But he made it?
Well,
He took
very
all,
good.
he put the pieces back together
I
again.
think the
You really
pieces,
owed him a lot, Marianne, all that he did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good to you, or for all of you.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
That is,
Now
Just
you
to
gotta,
drive that truck.
now you're gonna have to buy him some jewelry.
Yeah. Well, no, it's Taryn's. This goes to Taryn.
Oh, that's Terrence?
Yeah. Right, Taryn? Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it was his.
What was his mother's, and Dick is saying that for it to be handed down to Taryn.